Hey guys, welcome to Series World. Today I'm going to explain a mystery thriller series called Triptych from 2023. Turn on subtitles and spoilers ahead. The 7th episode opens with showing video footage of the three sisters when they were babies. Footage also shows them when they were little girls. Finally, footage shows the three sisters when they are adults living their separate lives. The camera finally pans out, and we see Julia watching all this footage on multiple screens across the wall. The scene changes to forensics arriving at Beatriz's house. Humberto tells the other officer to focus on finding links between Beatriz and Eugenio. Meanwhile, Becca is trying non-stop to reach Tamara, but she's not picking up the call. Humberto thinks Eugenio has traced Becca's texts, but then Becca remembers that the previous night she told Eugenio about Beatriz. We then see Eugenio and his driver put Tamara in the trunk of a car. He tells the man to take her to his villa while he figures out this mess. Meanwhile, Becca tries to leave to look for Tamara, but Humberto stops her and tells her to wait until he's done with the work here. Then they'll go look for her together. Humberto goes upstairs to get updates. The officer shows him a pass for an ATI visitor that he found in Beatriz's purse. Humberto calls for Becca to show her this, but she has driven away in her car. The scene cuts to Rogelio and Laura. Rogelio is telling her what happened the previous night with Aleida. She seemed like a completely different person, even though she didn't drink that much. Rogelio wonders whether Eugenio found an imposter for Aleida, but Laura argues that an imposter can't be this identical. She suggests maybe she got in trouble with drugs and alcohol which affected her judgment. But this will mean that all her decisions are null and void. They then see Eugenio entering the office, and Rogelio goes to talk with him. Eugenio seems frustrated and depressed. Rogelio asks what happened, and Eugenio tells him that Aleida has left him. He also explains that he lied about Aleida going on a trip. What really happened was that Aleida left him for a woman. The scene changes to Becca arriving at Eugenio's place. She takes out her gun to shoot the door, but somebody starts shooting at her from behind. Becca quickly gets in her car to escape, but the man in the car starts chasing her too. Finally, she manages to get him off her back when a truck comes between them. Back to Eugenio. He's trying to convince Rogelio that Aleida is a lesbian who has just come out of the closet and she's not mentally ill. Rogelio finds it hard to believe. Back to Becca. She has now returned to her home. Becca tells Dolores to pack a few things and their passports. Dolores is confused, and Becca tells her what just happened. Eugenio is onto them, and it's not safe here anymore. Dolores understands, but tells her to look at the article first. She shows Becca the article in her phone archive. The researcher on this experiment was none other than Marcus that they saw in the picture Pilar showed them. Becca is then seen going to Julia's place. She tells Julia how they are at risk and Julia also might get harmed. Julia suggests they go to a safe place that she knows. Becca agrees, but first she will look for Tamara, and in the meantime, Julia will leave with Dolores. Julia goes inside to pack a few things, and while waiting, Becca notices a spot on the wall where a picture used to hang. It's a picture of young Julia being handed a certificate by Marcus. Becca quickly grabs her mom and leaves the place. She calls Humberto and tells him that she needs his help because they can't trust Julia either. At the police station, Becca explains to Dolores what happened. Julia worked with Marcus and Eugenio's father on the experiment. They intentionally planted false evidence in the basement to throw them off. Humberto comes and tells Ortega to take Dolores to a safe place, and they'll focus on finding Tamara. While they're leaving, Becca gets a call from Tamara. They go to meet with her at her place. Tamara tells her from the start. She was also trying to find out about Aleida without expecting anything out of it until the man named Quezada met with her. He set up meetings between her and Eugenio, but she's more shocked about what happened last night. She got very drunk even though she barely drank anything. In the morning, she heard a mouthful from Eugenio, but she doesn't remember a single thing that happened. Eugenio tells her that he has changed the plans and she'll leave with Quezada to his villa in the countryside until he tells her to return. Tamara objects and Quezada forces her and drugs her. When she comes to consciousness, she's in the trunk of a car. But Quezada stopped for a break and Tamara fled the place taking the car key with her. Humberto asks whether Eugenio will be able to find her here. Tamara jokes that if the Tepito gang couldn't find her, no way he will find her here. Becca asks her about the gang and she tells her that they killed Kevin's brother Brandon, and that's why she burned down their meth lab. Tamara then asks her about what she saw at Julia's place. The scene cuts to Eugenio asking Quezada why he drugged Tamara. Now they'll suspect him more as the monster who killed Aleida. We then see Julia burning down pictures while her assistant Mila is deleting pictures on the laptop. Flashbacks show Marcus telling Julia that he won't continue the experiment anymore, but Julia is stubborn in completing the experiment. Back to Becca, she's showing Tamara the picture of Dr. Marcus who did the experiment on them. Tamara is a bit disappointed that it's not about cloning. Becca keeps going on about her hypothesis, but Humberto tells her to rest for the night. The scene changes to Eugenio, who's drinking while thinking about Tamara. Every moment he spent with her. Back to Becca and Tamara, they are peacefully sleeping when Becca starts dreaming. She sees little Becca drawing and asks who they are. Little Becca replies that they are her sisters. She then sees little babies sleeping in a bed, and a stained glass frame is hanging in front of them. Becca wakes up from sleep and sees the same pattern from the stained glass drawn on Tamara's wall. While she's looking at it, she hears Humberto talking to someone, so she goes up to him and asks who it was. Humberto replies that it's Marifer. She's worried because their little son has a slight fever. Becca understands and hugs him. In the morning, the trio is seen going to a federal safe house. Dolores is already there. Tamara asks whether they'll tell anything to Pilar about this. Becca doesn't think it's a good idea, because they are not 100% sure about Pilar and whether she's not faking anything. But Tamara is sad, because Pilar didn't even get to say goodbye to her daughter. Becca gets confused because she thought Humberto told her that Pilar and Eugenio both were present when they got Aleda's body. Humberto denies saying that, and Becca drops the topic. The scene cuts to Eugenio telling Pilar what happened with Tamara and how she ran off. Pilar is upset by what Eugenio did, but he had no other choice. Pilar asks whether he has talked with Becca, but he informs her that she's also missing. Pilar gets worried because the girls can go to the police. Eugenio tells her not to worry as he has a reliable person to help him. He then introduces Detective Julio to her. He will help them find the sisters. Meanwhile, Becca, Tamara, and Humberto have arrived at the safe house. Before they can enter, Becca tells Tamara to not expect a lot because safe houses are usually a bit rustic. But the house that they enter is more like a mansion and far away from rustic. Humberto tells the sisters to go ahead as he has to reply to a text first. While they are walking ahead, he goes behind the car and opens the trunk and is staring at the sisters. Becca and Tamara go inside the house and start looking for Becca's mom. But instead, they come in front of the stained glass frame from their dream. Before Becca understands what is happening, Humberto comes up to her and tells her sorry. He didn't want this to happen this way. Becca is still confused, but then she sees Mila walking up to them with a gun, and there's another man with a gun too. Finally, Julia walks in and Becca understands what is happening. It's a meticulously set up trap. Julia tells her that it's nice to see them back to their house. The most interesting part is how the three of them remembered the stained glass frame in the window, like it bound them together with a thread. She explains that they were born in this house and spent the first 2 months of their life here, not at the hospitals they have been led to believe. Becca looks at Humberto with disappointed, teary eyes. She asks him where her mom is, and Julia assures her that she's fine as long as they behave. Julia then turns to Tamara and greets her. Tamara asks her whether they worked with Eugenio, and Julia laughs it off, saying Eugenio has nothing to do with it. But Humberto has been working for her for many years. Becca lashes out at Humberto, and Julia gets quite upset about this. She then tells the man to take away their cell phones. While taking away her cell phone, Humberto tells her that this is reason he told her to stop investigating this case. Becca gets furious hearing this and tries to tackle him to the ground. Tamara also tries to help her, but Mila shoots both of them unconscious. Julia looks quite satisfied with Mila's work and gives her a heads up. That's how today's episode full of twists ends. To watch more explanations of these kinds of series, click on the videos on your screen. And don't forget to let me know how you feel about today's video in the comments down below. And at last, thanks for watching.